Alright guys, look what's back on the bench again. I wasn't going to do a video, I was just going to fix this again, but I don't like using bad language on the channel, but I'm pretty pissed off with this thing, to be honest with you. I mean, I bought this for Losi and Horizon, I've paid the best part of £500 for it, which is a lot of money no matter what way you look at it for what's effectively a scale model stroke toy. Hate saying toy because I don't like calling them toys, as it makes me feel like a big kid, but realistically it is. It's a thing you can go playing about with, and that kind of money it should be built good. I mean, I've got a lot of RC cars for all different manufacturers, even ones under the Horizon brand. None of them give me bother. I mean, the only car that I've got real bother with is my Traxxas UDR, which needs fixed as well, but that's still not been to the level of this. Obviously, you guys have seen me fixing the centre diff, going through the other faults and issues with this car. So the last time I put a video up with it, a lot of you guys seemed to enjoy it, had a lot of fun with it. And don't get me wrong, when this is running, amazing. Easily my favourite car when it's running, it's so good. But the build quality is just absolutely, there's no other word than shit. I'm getting really just to the point where I just want to throw this thing in the bin, I'm not joking. I've shimmed the diffs in that previously, put different oils in, so up till now I've had like servo issues, wheels falling off, receiver issues as well, which I've sorted, they've been intermittent. Now, I took it out to have a wee shot a few days back, wasn't recording, 2 seconds into driving, it's just clicking and banging and nothing moving, so I'm thinking the centre diff's gone again, but now it's the front diff. So if you check this out, you can see there's my front wheels, so you see them rotating. Try and get it down here, so when it's under load, slipping. So when that's slipping, it's not getting any drive and it just sounds like a bag of bolts. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to strip this down, I'm going to fix this, hopefully this will be the final time, because if it's not, this car's done with. I'm not even joking. So what I've done now is I took it apart previously, had a look, put a couple of shims more in, still slipping, but I think the actual teeth here have worn. So I've got the Losi bevel gear set. There's the part numbers there if you want to see it. So I'm going to replace them with the shims. Also, I just got more, it looks like one there but there's actually 5, it's just the way they're sitting. The Core RC shims I've been using, which are pretty good, so I've got 2 sets of them. I doubt I'll need them all, but you never know with this car. And I'm going to get this stripped down, take the diff out, and like I say, it's not got the proper oil in it because I had a quick look at it, I'd run out of oil, and what I chucked in it last time, just for the sake of putting lube in, was this stuff here, which is basically like effectively like a copper slip kind of stuff. It was just to have a wee test of it, but nothing was running because the bevel gears seem to be just worn down to nothing. So we'll get on with this just now. I don't want to moan and have a sort of bad sort of vibes on the video. I'll just try and tone it down now, but I just really wanted to strongly get my point across that don't buy this. Do not buy this car. I've tried to look at ways, well, maybe I've been unlucky, well, obviously the drive shaft's breaking and things, but until they bring out a V2 and formally admit that they've messed up with it, I don't think anybody should spend a penny on a Losi product, to be honest with you. Obviously they've got the new Baja Re 2.0 out, which I was very close to buying, but when this broke I thought, you know what, I'm not even putting any more money that direction right now, because they're just churning cars out constantly. Horizon Hobby, not just under Losi, they're bringing out like Arma EXBs, Losi Lasernuts, Baja Re 2.0s. They're quick to fire all these cars out and bring you new products, but they're bringing out shit. The cars they're bringing out are just faulty. There's something wrong with every one of them. Even the 2.0 I've seen on Errol Moorhead's channel, the back eight's hanging off. He's having to put plates in it to strengthen it, which should have been done. So there's no research going into these. They're just making them, getting the fast buck and disappearing onto the next product without caring. So guys have got to put a stop to putting up with that and start complaining a lot more, because it's not on when you're spending the money we do on these things. But moan over, let's get to stripping it down now. I'm going to try and calm my anger down, which I don't like to have on the channel. But yeah, let's get on with stripping this out. You can tell by the dirt and the rust and things that since it went on me last time, I've not cleaned it since then. I just literally lobbed it in my car, threw it on the shelf, and every day I've wanted to look at it, I've just been too angry to. So I apologise for all the dirt and stuff. I will get it cleaned up when I get it running. It's just pretty cosmetic, a little bit of cleaning and oil and stuff, and we'll get that back to normal. But basically, we've got to take this part here off, the front bumper. This little fake winch just pings off. It's really no even reason for it to be there because you can't see it when the body's down anyway. There's a couple of screws at the back and then at the bottom. We'll take that off. Then once that's off, the diff case should come forward and I should be able to pull the diff out. So I'll record that. I'll speed it up obviously because it's pretty boring to watch the whole thing probably. And I'll just give you roughly what I'm doing to take it apart, and we'll get a look at the diff and I'll show you what the problem is. Right, as you can see there, it literally took me about 5 minutes tops to take the diff out there. Pretty straightforward, but son, you're going to have to get good at owning this car because it's just absolutely constant. So you can see that the teeth here on the gear look fine, no issues, nothing looks wrong with it. It's just inside's completely worn out due to the lack of shimming and just nothing tight in there. I think the teeth have just been wearing and wearing and wearing. And obviously 4S, although it's not huge, it's still a lot of power for a car this size. And the front end usually does take most of the sort of the transfer, as the load's mostly on the back, so this will be spinning up really, really fast. Hence how you see the pizza tyre and things like that. So once we get it stripped down, we'll get a look, and when I get the diff oil properly in it, we'll get some really heavy diff oil to maybe try and slow it down a touch. One thing on a side note though, these Traxxas toolkit that I got, honestly brilliant. Pretty much most things you need for, obviously some of the bits are out just now so it's not full, but most of the things you need for servicing, maintaining your cars are in here. And it's just a nice little size case to carry about, so yeah, really happy with that. Probably one of the few things for Traxxas I'm happy with as well, to be honest. Although if Horizon keep getting any worse, I can see me going back to Traxxas cars. So that's kind of what I started with, was Traxxas. Had a Slash, obviously had my TRX4, X01, which I've actually still got to rebuild. That wasn't Traxxas' fault, that was me. I crashed at high speed, but with getting the Limitless and things, I just kind of went away for it and robbed a lot of parts out of it to build that. But I'll probably get back to that one time. But when you buy a brand new RC, you don't think you should have to work on very much for a while, and you're spending more of your time on your newest car than your old ones. There's something definitely wrong. I don't know how you guys feel, but I just feel in this hobby as well, people are too willing to accept things that aren't to a good standard, just thinking, oh, I'll modify it, I'll buy aftermarket parts and things. I mean, I'm all for aftermarket parts, doing my cars up, making them look nice, fancy wheels, different swing arms and that if I want to do it, but I shouldn't have to. If I'm running it stock on 4S, which it was made to run on 4S, it should be able to handle that power no problem. If I up it and I put a Max 6 in it and I want to put it onto like 6S or go crazy and put 8S in it, yeah, I expect things to break. But when I'm running it bone stock, I shouldn't have to be modifying everything just to get a car that I've bought brand new working. I mean, if that was a road car or anything you buy, you wouldn't be happy, so why should RC be any different? I mean, the parts aren't cheap. I'm not saying they're super expensive, but it all adds up when you're doing it all the time. Here's go inside it there, the oil's a bit manky, but I did put other oil in it just to try and thicken it up when I thought I might have it working. So take the A4 off, we'll take this all out, and what I'll do is, once it's all out and cleaned up and a bit shinier, I'll come back onto camera and I'll show you what it looks like inside. Right, well that's great guys. I didn't expect this. I ordered these parts, said on eBay, to be fair. It did say for the Lasernut, front or rear diff. So here's the gear inside, here's the Lasernut gear, clearly for the wrong car, so these are going to be useless. But what's not going to be useless is the extra shims I bought. So when you look at them, so my hands are really dirty with all this oil, there's no like visible wear. It must be worn, but I'll try to get a focus on this. Nothing looks terrible. Same with the little spider gears. They don't look, I don't know if it's coming from the camera, they don't look bad. So what I'll do, as you can see I've already shimmed it, so if we've got an extra shim on each side, is I'll put another shim further in each side, shim on each end of the spider gears to try and tighten everything up. Hopefully that'll take the slop out of it and stop the slip. So fingers crossed this will work. If not, I'm going to have to reorder another front or rear diff set of gears. But yeah, it's just an absolute pain. I'm just getting tired of having to have all the stress of this instead of just enjoying the car for what I actually bought it for. This is the Core RC shims that I've been using. They're pretty good, 0.1 thick. So I'll try and cram as many as I can into the space for the little bar to go on. If that doesn't really make sense, what it basically is when I pull this little pin out, which I've not got pliers sitting beside me, I'll just use a pair of scissors. And you take this pin out, here we go. Obviously you've got your little shims in here, and the hole that the pin goes through, basically get as many shims in as I can to make that tight, to push the pin up tight so there's no slop in it. And what that should do is that should lift this gear up on both sides higher up, which in effect will squeeze it tighter onto these gears, and when these got shims on each side I'll push them a bit further in. It'll keep everything tighter and the chances of slippage should be basically zero. So we'll give this a go and hopefully it will do the job. Right, this looks an absolute mess, but trust me, I know where all these bits go, believe it or not. So there's another shim here, stick that over, looks so that's two, maybe get another one on. I'll give that a try, see if I can get the pin over. Might have to take that last one out, but I'm just trying to get it as tight as I possibly can. That's a very nice fit, slipping in quite nice. Nice and tight now. Still turning, so that's all good. You know, these little bottom gears on. And obviously that's how it works if nobody's seen it, which most of you imagine will, but when the shaft's spinning, this turns, it turns the spider gears to keep the wheels be able to turn at different rates. Right, with the back end of this stuff it's a little bit more tricky. I also got a shim in there just now. I've got three on the other side, so I'm going to match up just now, get them in. It'll be a bit fiddly because it's deep and you're trying to work for the sides and things to try and get the little pin in. I'll do the best I can, we'll try and get that in and I'll come back on camera. I think it's going to be too fiddly trying to hold it on camera, and I've probably had enough bad language in this video already without adding more if I get frustrated, so I'm only joking guys with that one. But I'm going to get this done off camera and I'll be back in a second and I'll let you know if I get the three in or not. Right, surprisingly actually that wasn't near as bad as I was expecting there. That went in no problem. Just used a little pair of tweezers here, held it, got it in, pushed it to the side, it went straight in. And again, it's tight but it's still moving without any restrictions. There's no back and forward play at all there, so you know nothing's going to move there. And again, this little gear here is going to be a little bit further up, which will make it a bit tighter to the gears. And again, we'll go flat to flat, that way it stops the bar in the middle rolling, and line these up which again I'm struggling to do holding into the camera, so bear with me and I'll just try. Yeah, there we go. So that's locked in. If you can see, everything's turning there. Obviously got my finger on it to stop it popping. It might actually do it. It's lifting up a bit there, but you can see they're all turning. There's no restrictions. So when I put this top plate back on here, take that shim away and put that in a box for another day. When that's on like this, it should all be good. But before I do that, I'm going to have to put oil in it, which I've not got proper oil, so I'm just going to put grease in again just now. And most importantly as well, once you've got all that in, you've got to put your gasket back on, because everything will just leak back out, and if it runs dry you're going to get further problems. So make sure the gasket's done, then we'll get all tightened back up. When you're tightening them up, exact same way as I took it off, but you just cross tighten obviously, so you go for put them all on pretty slack to begin with, then tighten one corner, opposite corner, opposite corner, opposite corner, just slow bits at a time, just to make sure everything goes flat down and flush. That's the best way to tighten up anything. If it's RC, if it's real cars, if it's a plug socket, that's just the way to do things. Right, that's it back together. It feels nice when it's going round. You can feel well, it's not oil, the grease I've got in it meshing in and slowing it down a little bit, so hopefully it'll be a little bit heavier, and hopefully the main thing is the wheel won't slip like that now. It's just really annoying me, because I mean, when you look at my Hibeo Hyper GT that these guys see, that was a kit that I bought for literally £160 UK or something, and the RTR version is only meant to be like 3 or 4S 40mph car. I've had mine up to like close to 90mph or 80 odd mph, whatever it was. Put a 6S system in it, no problems, absolutely hammer it all the time, nothing's went on it. Yet these bigger manufacturers like Horizon Hobby ones, their stuff just seems to be falling to bits all the time these days. Just no excuse for it. Right, so we'll pop this diff back in now. You've seen me taking it all off. It's just a reverse again, how I've done that to put it back on. So we'll get that done, then we'll give it a quick spin test with the wheels and stuff, see if it's working. And a bit late at night tonight, and if it doesn't work I'll probably not be in the mood anyway, so I'll get a proper test to it tomorrow, but fingers crossed this will do the job. Alright guys, that's the Lasernut back together now, and fingers crossed it'll be okay. You can see there the wheels are turning now, no slippage. I'm going to take the big Kraton out this weekend for a little rip, and I'll take this too, since they both run on the 4S batteries. I'll run this one first, see how it goes, then I'll get a blast with the Kraton. I'm hoping this is going to be fixed for a good while now, but yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, just, I mean, for something that's maybe a premium product, it's basically just, the build quality is no other word to describe it than shit. And I apologise again for swearing on the channel, I don't really like doing it, but there's not really any other way I can put across how annoyed I am with this car, because like I've said many a time, and you've seen in the videos I've got it running, it's amazing. When it's working it's amazing, but the build quality is just not there to go with the performance, and it's just not good enough for a big company like Horizon. And yeah, I'm kind of getting fed up of it, and if I keep getting problems like this with them, I mean, I'll probably not get another Losi again, and I might just step away from Horizon altogether if this keeps up, because I mean, it's hard earned cash, I work hard for my money, I'm sure all you guys do too, and when you're paying out for something like this, you expect it to work. Obviously breakages if you have accidents and things, but out of the box stock for the beginning it's been nothing but trouble. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed that, please like and subscribe. If not, well, to be fair, I didn't really enjoy making that much either. It wasn't a lot of fun, just a bit frustrated, but yeah, I'll get something out soon again, and stay safe everybody. I'll catch you later. Bye.